Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. I'm saying it was up YouTube. I'm trying to figure out why I had people waiting and 13 likes. I've been going for about, I don't even know how long I've been going for. That is hilarious. Okay, so I've been basically going for, I guess, about 6 minutes, I guess I'll say. And YouTube never started. I hit the start button and YouTube never started. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Look, y'all want to see the beginning of the show, you got to go to Rumble and check it out. So I'm going to recap though. Okay, so I started a poll. Started a poll over on YouTube. I wish I could do polls on Rumble. Can we do polls on Rumble? Pause. Can we do polls on Rumble? This is nuts. I guess not. Anyway. So, basically what it said is that 20 years ago, Kristi Noem put her dog down for being aggressive and biting people. Okay? And apparently South Dakota law states that a dog who attacks and kills livestock can be put down. So I put in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think she was right telling her dog to look at the flowers, giving the old yeller treatment to the dog? I want to know what you guys think in the poll. I want to know what y'all think, because they went crazy on on the interwebs, on the social media platforms that oh my God, she killed her dog. She killed her dog. Now look, I got a dog, I got my boy Tyson. He's a boxer lab mix, Even though he's a boxer lab mix, he's a 100% purebred good boy. 100% purebred good boy. Let me see. This is Tyson right here. Look at Tyson. That's a good looking boy right there. That's a good looking boy right there. You see him? Got his American flag bandana on his neck. He looks like a hound dog, right? But he's a boxer and I think a chocolate lab mix. Something like that. I guess they call them boxadors or something like that. But he's a good boy. He's a good boy. All he do is want to chase rabbits and squirrels and deer. That's all he wanted to do. He might have been a better hunting dog than Kristi Noem's dog. However, I digress. Anyway, but that's Tyson. I love my dog. Right? Love my dog. I will, he act up and he get his tail beat for doing stuff he ain't supposed to do. Like, he'll steal your pizza and he just know he gonna catch it. So he's like, F it, I'm just gonna go over here in the corner and eat this pizza before I get whooped. I know it's coming. You know what I mean? Let me see. Up there go Jay Pollen. How about that? What up, Jay?
What's good with the Cannon? How you living?
Good. Jay got on his Dr. Huxtable sweater. he must have stepped out today.
The Dr. Huxtable. Remember when he went to get the car and he put on the beat up sweater and he said, "You got to dress down." That was a really good episode when he was trying to show Theo how to.
When he would go buy the car. Yeah. Yeah.
He said, "You gotta let the salesman think that you're broke." And then the other people came through and they kept saying, "Hey, Dr. Huxtable, what's good with it?" He was like, man, they're blowing it for me.
I remember that. We're trying to get you all squared away over here. At least you ain't got on the Gordon Gartrell.
What's the Gordon Gartrell? What's that?
You remember that the shirt that Theo wanted? That he tried to get
the fancy one.
Yeah, remember he tried to get his sister to make it for him? He had on that Gordon Gartrell.
I remember that. That was funny though.
That was a great episode.
Those were the classic episodes of a classic TV series.
Yeah, boy. Oh man, so we were talking about Kristi Noem
and the dog.
Yeah,
and the goat.
Yeah.
Wait. We brought that up before, didn't we?
She pet goat. Yeah, we brought up a little bit the other day.
I pet goat.
But so I put a poll in the chat to see what people thought. Now I remember back in the day, like if your dog bit people and was really aggressive, that like certain laws like you got to put your dog down, whether it was you did it or you took it to the pound and they put it down.
Oh, that sounds like some old Yeller stuff.
It is old Yeller stuff. She's from South Dakota.
That's some on the farm with the chickens and hens and all that stuff.
Yeah. So
That's it.
some people like you just rehome the dog. And like you could probably rehome the dog. I think you got a point there, but at the same time, you know, if the dog biting people and attacking your livestock, that's the law in South Dakota. That's what she know.
Oh, was this what Strong Dad was talking about earlier?
Yeah, we was all talking about it, I think, at that point.
When he called into HJ show on the Griff Report?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why they keep talking about dogs. I was like...
Yeah, because she told about a story 20 years ago when she had to put down her 14-month-old dog, Cricket. And people was going crazy on her. I guess, you know, Peter was on the case and some more stuff. And I'm like, that was the thing. I told people I got attacked. I got mauled by a dog when I was like 7 or 6 or something like that. Like I was riding my bike around my grandparents' way and this dog jumped the fence and I just remember the dog jumping on me and I remember waking up in the hospital.
I don't get anywhere near dogs like that.
And they had to put the dog down.
But I don't feel like, well, yeah, I understand that. But I don't feel like blasting a dog in the face. I don't know if that was, it sounded like it was a little aggressive, Kristi.
Well, that's the thing. They said, you know, that's the law. So apparently in South Dakota, that's the law. You can do that. It's part of the law. But I also remember back in
pop Benji in his face or Lassie in his face.
But I also remember back in the day, I don't know if it's still law today here, but I remember back in the day, if your dog got off the leash and bit somebody, right? That person could request that your dog be put down.
Like Emmanuel said, Sleepy Joe dog bites people every day.
But he ain't in the White House no more.
Secret Service didn't blast him in the face.
But they had to get rid of him. They had to get rid of their dogs.
Mike with bad knees was good. Limitless Power was good.
The funny part is that a lot of the people that's like, no, that's not right. They the same ones that want euthanized pit bulls.
They have that euthanizing. From what I understood, is you can get that in Mexico. You can get it in a pill form, I'm sure. And you can give it to your dog, or you can give it to a person. If you gave it, whoa, hold up, never mind. I'm gonna take that back.
I don't know. Dr. Kevorkian might have been. Dr. Kevorkian might have been doing that. I don't know, but But I remember back in the day, if your dog bit somebody, or they could request that your dog be put down.
Yeah, forget I ever said anything about it.
And then, like on ranches and those, they put their dogs down. They put their dogs down themselves. So it's like, I don't see the difference. Like, okay, so you put a needle in your dog's arm and he goes to sleep, or you just quickly with the lights out with the 22.
I don't know.
You know, and then you bury your dog in the yard. You know, I don't know.
I voted Kristi Noem was wrong on this one, but. You know what's crazy about it though, is they bring this up, like we said, they're bringing this up to try to see if they could get her out of here early in case she is the presumptive VP nom. But what I'm thinking this is a move by the people that support Donnie T. This is my kufi on tight take. I think that the people that support Donnie T, I think that some of them are, well, we've seen that some of them are closer to the deep state than Donnie T would have us know or be aware of or understand the full ramification of some of these people behind closed doors. And they're trying to probably push to see if they can get either Vivek or Tulsi over to and I think it's them that are trying to steer this the same way these people try to steer us along with Mike Pence. That dude was a clown, and they put him in a position of the VP spot to keep an eye on Donnie T and to trip him up and to, turn around, do some backstabbing later on down the road. I think they got the same initiative. What's the right word for this? Maybe. I think they see that it's the same game plan that they have for Vivek or Tulsi. I think that they're friendly. I think that there's people in high places that would be friendly towards them and seeing them have a shot at the White House.
So what you're saying is Kristi Noem ain't in the right crowd.
Yeah, that's my take. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right.
I know you might be right. And like
You don't
20
know. I
years
don't
ago,
know for sure.
and then 20 years ago, I'm just like, yeah, nah. Like I remember that being a thing. So when I heard that she, put her dog down, I was like, oh, okay. Because that was always a thing in my opinion. Either you took if your dog was aggressive, you either put your dog down or you took him to the pound and the pound put him down.
Manuel said dog lives matter.
Dog lives matter. They do matter. I love my dog. Like I said, I showed Tyson on the screen. He's a 100% purebred good boy. That's my boy right there.
The right hates dogs.
I call him Tyson Barksdale. That's his last name. Tyson Barksdale.
You gave the animal a last name.
Yep, Tyson Barksdale is his last name.
I remember I went over to in school there was a sleepover that we had, and went over to this kid's house, and I was like, oh, I see you got a lot of dogs. Two great big huge dogs. One was, I think it was a Dane, and one was a German Shepherd. And he was like, that's General. He said it's long. They had these first and last names for them. One was Sergeant McRuffins or something like that. The other one was General W.T. Slaughter or something like that. He had initials and everything. I was cracking up. I said, where did he? You guys got last names, first names, middle initials, backstories, and everything for these dogs.
This is right here. Let's see. So check it, right?
When Obama had his time to
So Howard Stern was all over Joe Biden in his softball interview. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, remember we brought it up. I said, did you see that Howard Stern was doing a crazy interview with with all the softball questions? I said he's supposed to be a shock jock, right? So that was all a front. He was just a plant this whole time.
I used to be a fan of Howard Stern,
Howard Stern has no credibility whatsoever.
He used to buck the system. He used to rage against the machine.
He is the system.
And now he's raging on behalf of the machine. He is the system.
Yeah, he is the system. He is the machine.
He made millions off of being politically incorrect and going against the system, and now he going along to get along. Just like his last name says.
I don't know. I think he was always a plant. I always suspected that character. I would tune in and I'd say, I don't know. I don't understand what people see in this. You know what I would tune in afterwards though? Rush Limbaugh. And I was like, boy, they hate on this guy a lot, but he makes some solid points here and there. He had some good episodes back in the day. Yeah. That was and they came on like on the do you remember the UPN channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd stay up late. Kids. I was a little kid staying up late to watch the Jamie Foxx show and something else, and then Rush would come on after all that.
He had his own channel. Remember, Howard Stern had his own channel. He had his own cable channel. Cause he got a little Randy on there, a little Spicy on there. He having like the girls on the Sybian machines and stuff like. He had his own channel at one point. But I used to listen to Howard Stern. Yeah, I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time. And then I started listening to Opie and Anthony because he started getting butthurt when Opie and Anthony started getting a little more popular than he was, and then he started trying to pull his weight around Sirius and get them gone.
But he did weird stuff like blackfaces and all that stuff, didn't he?
He did. Oh yeah, he did it. Him and Robin Quivers did it. I mean, him and
Hemsley.
Sherman Hemsley did it, not Robin. You know what I mean? A man said, "You such a rebel, stand up late to watch Rush." Yeah, I used to like Opie and Anthony, Tyler. I used to love Opie and Anthony.
It came on like at midnight because UPN back then they had the Brothers in Space. And what was that other one they had? Did you remember Brothers in Space?
Homeboys in Outer Space.
Homeboys in Outer Space. That's
I remember that show. Yeah.
I would watch Homeboys in Outer Space and like reruns of Wayans and Jamie Foxx and something else on there. And then after all that was done, then Rush would come on and I'd be like, let me go ahead and sit up and watch some Rush before I go to sleep and have to go to school in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, but like I used to listen to Howard Stern every morning on the way to work, and then I found Opie and Anthony, and then it was a wrap because I thought they were a little more entertaining. However, let's check this out because he just was waxing poetic about our boy Joe Nicholslick. And guys, y'all don't know why I call him Joe Nicholslick. So I used to work with this dude. This dude used to work for my father. His name was Malay. Shout out to Malay. I might have to cut this because I think my homeboy, my best friend, still holler. He still know Malay. So Malay one day was in the first off, his name was Malay, but it was spelled M-A-L-E, and I thought his name was just Male. I'm like, your name's Male? Like, no, it's Malay. Anyway, so one day our homeboy Dante was messing with him or did something. He's like, yo, why you always nickel slicking me? And I was like, nickel slick? I was like, what's nickel slick? He was from New York. He was like, nickel slicking, like you always trying to get over. You always trying to run a sham. You always trying to you trying to hustle me. So he said that's what nickel slicking meant. So then that's when I started calling Joe Biden Joe Nickel Slick, because he always trying to nickel slick somebody. Always trying to hustle or get over on some people, and that's what he did all 4 years. Rickrolled all living heck out of everybody. Oh, Patrice O'Neal. You said Patrice. Patrice O'Neal was fantastic. Oh man. It's been a couple of times you can find it on this channel. You can find it on Rumble where I recapped the Patrice O'Neal like segment on Opie and Anthony a couple of times on this channel. Patrice O'Neal was the GOAT. Every time he was on Opie and Anthony, it was gold. It was gold. Period. Anyway, let's get to this. Let's check this out. Listen to all this spit and slobber.
I want to thank you for doing this today. I want to thank you for your compassion. You know, the reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because I wanted to understand the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love, because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the...
He fondling the balls right now. Fondling the balls right now. Pause.
Father of the country, because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be...
His son's on coke and hard drugs, and he paying Hennessy prices for it. We saw him snort cocaine on the balcony at the White House. We're just going to sit and pretend that the laptop didn't exist, right? Right, Howard Stern? This is all a publicity stunt. They know how many people that Howard Stern, or how many people listen to Howard Stern. And Howard Stern is going to sit here and lie through his teeth. Off rip. You know, if you're a great father, you're a great father to the country. His one son is, I ain't gonna say his one son's dead because of him, but his last remaining son is a mess, putting it lightly. And allegedly, he used to take showers with his teenage daughter.
That's what she wrote in her diary.
That's what she wrote, like Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, that's what she put. She put those words in her diary.
She put those words in her diary, and who knows what else she was putting in her in that shower.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What's his name? His son, right? Hunter calls his pops Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I don't know what that meant. I just felt like saying it. Anyway, let's go.
Be a good father to the country, and I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out.
Now, I'm not a fan of the vaccine, Jay, but we all know who put the vaccine out, right? We all know who did it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Donnie T was the one who got that thing out there.
Light speed.
Yeah, I think they said 1 million people had already taken the vaccine under Donnie T before Nickel Slick got in office. Now, that's a ding against Donnie T, in my opinion. Now, what I will say about Donnie T and the vaccine is that Donnie T said, if you want to take it, it's here. If you don't want it, then you don't got to take it. It's no Carl Winslow. I did hear the Carl Winslow story. Oh, my goodness gracious. Anyway, however, Biden wasn't the one to put out. If we want to use it as a points meter, like that's supposed to be give you points, Donnie T wasn't the one. I mean, Nickel Slick wasn't the one. Donnie T's the one that deployed it. I did a video on it. It's got to be on my stream somewhere. It's somewhere on the stream. It's in one of these videos. I did a video on it where Donnie T put that out there way before Nickel Slick did. 1 million people already took it before Nickel Slick got in office. So, but then Nickel Slick had to beat Donnie T, so then he started forcing it down y'all veins, just like he forced that crack cocaine down his son's veins. Man. Allegedly. Let me stop.
I remember what the world was like at that point, getting NATO getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin, the incredible large growth in the jobs, unemployment rate down. I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest
unemployment down. Unemployment ain't down because of Joe Biden. What happened was Howard Stern sitting there. He knows because he's lying through his teeth. Lying through his teeth. And this stream might get taken down now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever. We can find it on Rumble. Lying through his teeth. We went to zero. Okay? It went back to zero because we were negative jobs, and it went back to zero. The jobs went in the tank because of what Joe Nicholslick did with the whole vacation situation.
Yeah, what we've been saying is that they didn't create new jobs; they just came back to work at some of their old jobs.
And then and then the new jobs they just created. It's not even new jobs created; it's just people picking up second jobs.
Yeah, the second and third job because the economy is so bad.
So bad. $100,000 is $30,000 a year. You need to go do Uber.
That's why they're wrecking themselves out there in Oregon and in Cali right now with the 20. I think it's some spots, not in some counties or something like that I read. And I could be wrong, but one said it was like 25 for the minimum wage in a certain county in Oregon or something like that. And then the rest was like 20 or whatever. Plus you had they're like putting it into place that yes, you have to give a tip at certain places too, where it's like forced tippage going on top of that. So there was like in those spots, those Ubers and those what's the ones that they bring the food, DoorDashes and stuff like that.
And they want to kill that.
Those are going down fast.
They're going down because they're trying to kill the gig economy. They trying to make like DoorDash giving them like health benefits and some more stuff, which is crazy because they contractors, essentially.
Yeah, the independent contractor field was where like you could make your own money here and there, how you please or how you see fit when you can. It's forced. What Montoya say? It's forced
reoccupation. I mean, forced recuperation. Yeah.
Recuperation local tax. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because the forced tip is paused. Yeah, they forcing them to tip their people to come because it's already written into it. It's already written into the law, and then it's written into however when you go and pick it up, like that's a part of it. It's like automatic, like it's an additional tax on tax on tax.
Right.
And the taxation is theft.
But the thing, so like Mike has bad niece says he forced me out the Air Force because he ain't take the YME.
Also, a lot of people that left the medical fields and other fields. I found this. I watch a lot of different stuff. So last night I was tuned into this propagandist channel where they were just everything that they regurgitated was just all the talking points that come out that have all been proven incorrect. And they had this whole panel going, and they were just, it's he's back again, and it's a threat to our democracy. That kind of MSNBC, CNN kind of regurgitation, and they were talking about the Yamin and stuff, and they were proud of themselves for pushing it on their podcast and telling people they better go get it and stuff like that, a part of their messaging.
We got 40 over on X. Now, I'm trying to wonder, so HJ think that the people on X where I see the 40, you think it's just people who just tuned, like they looked at it, like it's total viewers and it's not people currently watching. Now, I would tend to agree with him at one point, but when on Saturday when we were streaming, I was using StreamYard, and StreamYard, it shows current viewership. Like not total views, but the people that are currently viewing it, like active viewers. So I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? So, but if it is 40 people watching this, hello. And,
or 10,000.
Matter of fact, let's do it like this. If it's 40 people over on X watching, hit the heart button so I can see it. Just say hello or something in the chat or hit the heart button. Maybe it is just 42 people that just came and looked and left or whatever. I don't know. But we'll see.
On that note, if I may, I've seen certain streamers do this though. They have the setup just like the ones we see from the China ones, where they have where they have like a whole little wall of cell phones, like the cheap burner phones, and they have them all set up running a VPN on each one, and then they just connect it over there to their stream, and they've got like whatever, it says 200, 500 people watching, but actually it's just them talking to themselves. And the engagement is just a bot engagement. So when it pops up, unlike where we see these actual people in here, on theirs, it just like, it'll give like flowers and it's just bot stuff.
I see what you're saying.
It's just like, hello, how's it going again? Wow, great words that you have spoken. It's real just generic bot stuff going on. But they've got this whole setup, burner phone after burner phone, and they pick up speed that way on their streams, because then it sends a signal out, hey, this channel is popping. But if you go over there yourself, you'll realize there's nobody in this stream. Actually, that number that they're showing over there for the 1,000 people watching is just one of those setups.
Yeah, we'll see, but it's all good. It's all good. We gonna be the pioneers on X over here with the video. Watch.
I actually found a YouTube channel that showed them doing that too. I might send you the clip later so you can see what it looks like. Have you seen that setup before?
Yeah, I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about. They did it on TikTok, right?
I don't know.
I think they did it on TikTok.
I tried to bookmark it because it was crazy. It was like a guy in India. I think he had access to a one of those cell phone selling places, I guess markets or whatever. Yeah. And he created the whole little wall over here. Yeah. And he punched his button and boom, all those phones lit up. I was like, that's wild.
I seen it. I definitely seen that. Mike Has Bad Knees also says, I left because I knew they were about to make it mandatory. He already had 21 years, so hey, I hear that. But yeah, so let's get back to it. Let me see.
Uninsured rate in history, 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month.
What? Hold up. What?
Knocking off a few ISIS leaders, cutting the $1 a month, knock jobs, unemployment rate down. I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest uninsured rate in history, 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month.
What insurance is that? Is that all? Is he talking about Obamacare? $10 a month insurance?
Wait, hold up. I can't hear it.
Oh, no, I just paused it. Go in the chat if y'all can hear. Y'all can hear y'all can hear, right? Let's see.
Knocking off a few ISIS leaders, cutting the emissions in half. I mean, you've always been an environmentalist. Even the marijuana reform laws, enough with sitting there and fighting that battle. Respect for Marriage Act. What the hell is with people with this gay stuff? Who cares if someone's gay? How is it affecting anybody? People in love, it's good, right? Love is good.
So last I remember in 2008 and going into 2012.
He said America was going to hell.
Yeah, he said America going to hell in a handbasket.
That's what he said.
Back then, he was like, gay? What? Throw him off the roof.
Yeah.
He ain't saying that, but you know, he was close. He had them same views. He's always been an environmentalist. Get out of here.
Yeah, Howard Stern is he's, I don't know, trash. This is garbage stuff.
It's so garbage.
My dad we saw two men kissing one another. My dad we saw two men kissing one another in Rodney Square when I was going in to get a license. I looked at him and he said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other.
That's it. That's how I look at it.
Oh my goodness, that never happened.
First off, yes, that never happened, guys. You know what? I don't have the song queued up, so I won't do it.
1928, this went down.
These dreams. Yo, and then Howard Stone, he think he Oprah Winfrey. That's it. That's love. Oh my gosh.
Yo, in 1920, when this story took place, no two men were out on the street kissing unless they wanted to be rounded up.
His father said something, but that wasn't what his father said. Hey, Joey, You see them two agate face.
There's gonna be some hangings tonight, son.
Get a room, you agate face. Get a room, you sags. We're gonna say sags. Get a room, you sags. I guarantee that's what his father said. Joe Biden's 80 years old. And you telling me his father was that progressive when he was, what, 15?
This man is almost 100 years old.
Oh, my gosh. Get out of my
His
face.
story time is just ridiculous. They were.
It's simple, Joey. Love each other.
They didn't even have that catchphrase back then. Love is love. They didn't even have that catchphrase back then in the 1910s.
Right. It's simple, Joey. They're going to hell.
Funny, his dad was so open-minded after his uncle was eaten by the cannibals.
The number 6 with a $5 donation. I appreciate it. Says his father had very progressive views on gay marriage. I kind of don't believe that.
It's nonsense at all.
Sorry, I don't. I go back to like Bill Burr. He said, people forget about their age. Like, look how old they are. What do you think they thought? You know what I mean? Oh my goodness gracious. I'm sorry. This is funny. What's up, Brody? Brody in the building. What's going on, Brody? It's funny his dad was so open-minded after his uncle was eaten by cannibals. I know, right? Oh my gosh. But apparently, technically, that was his mother's brother who got eaten by cannibals on Earth 762. You know, but we...
Oh my goodness! Look, back in 1890, they weren't so they weren't so agreeable.
When would he have gotten his driver's license or whatever license? What year would that have been? He's 80.
Ooh, back in 1933 or something like that, right?
Something like 40s, maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know. But here you go. Look. It's Jonah already got the receipts. Don't forget his granddaddy was a slave trader.
That's right. That's right. They had a plantation and they weren't very nice either, is what some of the books said.
Rip Uncle Ambrose. Is that Brandon's doppelganger? I don't think it's him. We gotta look at the earlobes. It may. I don't know.
You know who deserves credit? The American people are relentless. The American people are stepping up. Who do they vote for? They just never give up. We're the most unique country in the world. We really are.
We are, but I don't want to lose it.
We're not going to lose it, God willing.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Mr. President. Look at me sitting with the president.
Look at me sitting with Howard Stern.
Wow, I mean.
Oh, here they go, circle jerking. Oh, my goodness gracious. How long before Joe Biden wear double strap shoes? How long do you think before you start wearing the double straps? I might make that a fashion statement.
You can tell people this is the most important event in your lifetime.
I'll tell them that.
Oh my gosh. That was just the first 2 minutes. The Bidens are the big supporter of the gays. It's the blacks they have an issue with. You don't need another nigger big shot mayor, according to Joe Biden's what's the name? This is crazy. George Biden was a ship captain. I mean, Joe Biden. Oh, George is his uncle or grandfather. George Biden was a ship captain for East India Trading. Hello, slave trader extraordinaire. No Carl Winslow. Oh my goodness gracious, bro. That was Joe Nicholslick. I guess that was Joe Nicholslick. That might have been I don't know, Jay. That might have been one of the robots they pulled. It might have been one of the clones he pulled out of the CRISPR. That's one of the clones they pull out of the
when Obama
the
had his time to.
Or what is this? Oh, let's okay. Now he wanted to. You want to see when he was talking about Roe v. Wade? I just want to see the lies. Joe Biden, was it President Joe Biden on falling in love with his wife, Nelia? I don't care about that. Losing Beau Biden. At first said no to Obama's VP. You want to see how he makes himself seem like a good steward? Let's check this out.
You had spent so many years in the Senate. You were so prepared to be president yourself. Was it hard to be vice president? I would think in some ways you'd say to yourself, gee,
Didn't he lose twice? He didn't get picked twice. He ran for president twice, and he wasn't picked both times. One, because he lied, and two, because he lied. He was so prepared to be president, though, Jay. So prepared to be president.
I liked it better in the Senate. At least I had more to do.
I'll tell you a true story. Barack became the de facto candidate in, I guess it was in the middle of August. Yeah. And I'm riding home on the train as usual, and I get a...
So Barack became the de facto candidate. When you say the de facto candidate, don't you mean like he was the one that they selected, just off rip? He was just by default, he was going to be the candidate. Am I wrong for that? Isn't that what de facto mean? Like he was the default candidate? They didn't even, he was already pre-picked? Is that how that go, Jay?
Well, Barry Soetoro, I mean, that man had credentials that indicated he was with the Alphabet Boys prior to all this other stuff. How else in the world did he have passports in and out of these Middle Eastern countries at a time when we were fighting with them? But yet he could go in and out of Pakistan and wherever else he wanted to on his so-called vacations time when he was in college. Which isn't even, it's not possible at all. He had to have clearance for all that stuff he was pulling.
Apparently, according to somebody, I forgot from a long time ago, Barack Obama was a time traveler going through Stargates.
He was going through Stargates too. Goodness, he was just doing the most.
Barack was the first DEI hire. Somebody tell me who that was. It was a guy that said that it was him, Barack Obama, and somebody else that when they were younger and they were in their teens, they were sent on missions back in time to do certain things.
What?
But his Barack's name was Barry Soetoro. That's the first time I heard Barry Soetoro from that guy.
The first time you heard it was from there? Mm-hmm. Because see, he was raised in Indonesia. Mm-hmm. And his Lolo Soetoro was his mom's husband. So he was Barry Soetoro. And then later on in college, he picked out the name Barack Obama. But it wasn't until his college years. Before that, everyone just called him Barry.
His name still just gets me. Like,
what's that?
When I first heard Barack Obama, I felt like DMX. I was like, ain't no way that's his name. Barack Obama. Like,
it might very well not be
terrorist
his name. He might have just adopted it from his father. His father was in the oil industry. Also, he was a friend to a lot of bureaucrats, and they had this program back in the '60s where it was run by the alphabet agencies, and they would fly different people in over there to Hawaii from different countries so that they could start to educate them before sending them back over. So they would take Africans, and they would educate them and put them in classes and things like that would have these bureaucratic ideals shaped over them before they sent them back to their countries of origin. And in Hawaii at the time, they had a program for understanding Russian and Mandarin, and his mom was a part of that program when she met his dad, which was the Barack Sr. And then when she had the first child, which was Barry's sister, she had her in Indonesia. But at the time, back in the 60s, you could contact the Hawaiian embassy or Hawaiian records place and say, yeah, I had a child, go ahead and put them under Hawaii, even if you were outside the country.
Interesting.
So that's where the whole notion that maybe he didn't originate from the spot, and most likely he didn't originate from the spot. Most likely he wasn't made in America.
Made in America.
Most likely. He was somewhere else, more likely than not.
Living in America.
Remember all those different stories they went down the road with when they said, oh, well, the there was a fire at the place, and then there was this, and then there was that, and then all those different people kept turning up dead and stuff. They did a lot of.
Say something for later.
They did a lot of stuff for the cover.
But then apparently they furnished like a birth certificate, and I think the dude that was
and
on
then
InfoWars was computer generated.
fully debunked later on, and they took when he worked for what's it, Project Annenberg, right? I think he was holding on to like $500 million for these corporations, and so he just took members of Project Annenberg, and they were his fact checkers back in 2008. And they took a look at the document and they said, oh, it's legitimate, all right. And they were just like interns with no experience at all. And that's where the media gets the fact checkers took a good hard look at it.
But then the one guy was like, well, they didn't have computer generated birth certificates back then. They were all handwritten. I was like, golly.
This goes back to dun. We got you. Got him.
Jonah said he a test tube baby from King Akhenaten. Oh Lord.
But they used the bloodlines of the Tars. What is it? The wheat and the Tars in the Bible.
Yeah.
A phone call. That's Barack. He said, I want to do a background check on you. I said, Barack, I don't want to be vice president. I can help you much more as a senior senator. I was fairly successful.
I don't believe that.
And he said, well, there's only two of you. Or I think that's what he said. And I said, Brock, he said, well, there's only you. And I said, Brock, I don't want to be vice president. I can help you better. Sure. And so I go home.
Brock, he wasn't, I don't want, Brock, I can't be your vice president. I got too many skeletons in my closet.
This clown is the most all cap. If all cap was a person, it would be Joe. It would be Joe. He makes up one thing after the next.
I wouldn't mind going goofy and tight about Barack becoming a senator. That might be a good idea.
Then he went in and out of Pakistan with his friend Siddiqui, and then they have pictures of those two guys holding hands.
That might give some credence to those letters, guys.
He said, do me a favor. When you get home tonight, he knew my family. Talk to your family. Get back to me in 24, maximum 48 hours.
Oh, Lord.
I said, okay, Brock. So I call. I said, let's get a family meeting in the back porch. We get a family meeting. And to my, not to my surprise, Jill says, you know, you ought to do it. And I said, what? She said, otherwise you'll be asked to be Secretary of State and you'll be away all the time.
Yeah.
And then my son, Bo, gave a reason why I should do it, and Hunter and everybody. And my mom was living with us at the time because we just lost my dad. And I looked at my mom. I said, honey, you haven't said anything. She said, well, let me get this straight.
When did Joe Biden's mother die? How old was Joe Biden's mother? 80, 60.
Oh, hold up. I'll be back.
All right. Anybody know how old Joe Biden's mom was? Oh, my goodness gracious. Let me see something. Let's keep going.
When I called you and asked you about Barack when he defeated you.
Jill's the handler. Jill is the handler. That's what it is. She's his handler. That's what she is.
Back in the spring, you said he was bright, he was honest, he was really a capable guy. I said, yeah, Mom, what's your point? She said, Joey, the first black man in history has a chance to be president, and you told him no.
Right.
She died in 1492. Y'all ain't right. His wife died in an accident that Hunter that hurt Hunter as a child. Oh man. Jeez Louise. Anyway. This is crazy. Let's see what else he got on there.
When Obama.
Let's see what else they got. New airline rules. President Joe Biden on Roe v. Wade. January 6th. And if he'll debate Trump. Ooh, let's go with that one.
When Obama had his time to appoint a Supreme Court justice, he was going to appoint Garland. These maniacs in the Senate said, no way. Not interested. And now we've got a Supreme...
Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland, anybody? Hey, Jonah, Merrick Garland? It sounds like Howard Stern is... He thought Merrick Garland was...
a Supreme Court justice. He was going to appoint Garland. These maniacs in the Senate said, no way.
Merrick Garland, is that right? I still believe how the Western is wearing a wig. I can't take it. Oh, how Howard Stern's wearing a wig? He got to be wearing a wig, right? No way he still got that much hair, right? Oh my gosh, Merrick Garland was told no by John Doe too. Exactly. Let's not forget about Merrick Garland and his alleged role in Oklahoma City.
Not interested. And now we've got a Supreme Court that's nuts.
Not only that, Merrick Garland's running interference now for everything else. Merrick Garland's the one up here running interference for. He's running interference on the Trump the Trump legal cases. He's running interference on Ukraine and all that stuff. Jonah said Merrick Garland is Patriot Front.
Well, it's a really extremely conservative court, maybe the most conservative court in modern history. And when they struck down Roe v. Wade, saying that it was not federal constitutionally guaranteed, it was a state issue. States can make those judgments. And one of the justices, Clarence Thomas, said, it's not that women don't have a choice. They can, in fact, change it if they, in effect, at a state level, but we'll see if they have any power. Well, they ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see what will happen. If I'm elected president again in the second term, we're going to be able to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again, because based on every state in the union being able to judge and get a majority vote.
You think that
I think
can be
we
done?
can do that, because I think there's going to be a real lesson learned on the.
Oh, and I gotta go back.
On any power. Well, they ain't seen. States can make those judgments about modern history. And when they struck down Roe v. Wade, saying that it was not federal constitutionally guaranteed, it was a state issue. States can make those judgments. And one of the justices, Clarence Thomas, said, it's not that women don't have a choice. They can, in fact, change it if they, in effect, at a state level, but we'll see if they have any power. Well, they ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see what will happen. If I'm elected president again in the second term, we're going to be able to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again, because based on every state in the union being able to judge and get a majority vote.
You think that
I think
can be
we
done?
can do that.
I want to know what he said before they jump cut it. They jump cut that. I want to know what he said. He probably said something stupid. Now, me personally, I think Roe v. Wade, I think that abortion, it should be left up to the people that want to have the abortion. Do I agree with abortion? No, I don't. However, I think that that should be a household decision. It shouldn't be left to no states. It shouldn't be left to anybody but the person that decide. That's on them. That's they gotta stand up and face God at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They gotta do that, not us. If all the states agreed, Roe v. Wade wouldn't matter. That's true. That's 100% true. Yes, he did. He said he actually, no, it wasn't even during the interview. He was supposed to speak somewhere and he couldn't speak because he had a bathroom accident, and we all allege that he crapped his pants. He's the president now. What's stopping him from making the changes he's talking about? Because he's not going to make the changes. He's going to rickroll everybody once he, if he gets back in office, he's going to rickroll everybody. Because like Emmanuel said, if all the states agree, Roe v. Wade wouldn't matter. Now, as far as it being a federal issue, nah. As far as it being a state issue, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just that I guess it gave parameters. Like you can't abort the baby, after a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? Leave it up to the states, I think, is whatever, it's fine. But then you got states When you leave it up to the states, you got states like New York who allow abortions up into the baby's head breaches. Like, really? Like, what? That's murder. Then you had like places like New York, where if the kid survived the abortion, then you make the baby comfortable, right? You make the baby comfortable, and then we'll see what the mother wants to do. That's what they want to do. That's what they want. What's up, Black Falcon? We don't know where Barry O was raised. Barry O, he probably got more passport stamps before he was 2 than any kid. I don't get how Black Lives Matter got away with not targeting Planned Parenthood. It kills millions of black men because Black Lives Matter wanted to get rid of the nuclear family. They wanted to get rid of the heterosexual norms. They wanted to get rid of the husband in the household. That's why.
Because I think there's going to be a real lesson learned on the mega Republican side of the aisle, because we're going to see a whole hell of a lot of state referenda, and they're going to want to restore it, and that's going to be able to be done.
Can I tell you a fantasy?
But the Supreme Court ruled on it. Am I right? The Supreme Court ruled on it, right? Am I wrong? So how do you overrule the Supreme Court? Don't you got to take it back to the Supreme Court?
I don't know if you're going to debate your opponent.
I am somewhere. I don't know when. Yeah. I'm happy to debate him.
This is how I would handle it. Tell me if I'm nuts. Well, I am nuts, but tell me if this is accurate. I would stand there on stage with Trump and I would repeat over and over again, "Excuse me, please find me 11,000 votes so that I can win the election." I would just repeat that over and over again. And then I'd say to the audience, what are we debating? A man picked up the phone and wanted to say, fake the election, give me 11,000 votes. I don't know how any American who...
So Howard Stern sitting here espousing more voter fraud rhetoric. That was never said. That was never said by Donnie T. That was never said by Donnie T. In fact, we all know allegedly, we'll say allegedly, YouTube. We all know allegedly that they saw how much Joe Nicholson was getting his tail whooped by, and next thing they said, we'll be right back after these messages. And then they went from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We all wake up, and Nickel Slick is handily ahead of Trump. From those penny savers, from those mail-ins, where, like I said, they got them all over the schools now. Every school I went to, every school I drive past, they got that daggone mail-in thing up. Why? Why? That's right, Montoya. Stay strong with the nuclear family. It is important. I know what their goal was, but how did black people fall for it? Emotions. Emotions. They told black folks who to be mad at and why. Identity politics. That's how that worked. Exactly. As long as they win. But he's espousing more stupid stuff. So Nickel Slick, I don't know why his camp is allowing him to debate Trump. I don't understand it. He can't win that debate. He can't spitball. He can't call audibles. He can't rebut. He gonna get pummeled on that stage. And here go Howard Stern, who knows what he's saying is 1,000% lie because he's an agent. Yeah, they're at high schools and elementary schools right now, Jonah. He knows he's an agent. He knows that what he's about to say is a lie. He said he got on the phone and no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Nickel Slick won by 11,000 votes in a state that didn't even like him. How, Sway? %. Yeah, she ready. Think that there's something in his ear. There's no way. He's not gonna be able to keep up. It's gonna be sad. Just let you know. It may not even happen.
Loves this country. That's the end of the debate. You don't get to run if you're going to fix an election.
On January 6th.
You don't get to run if you're going to fix an election. However, he's talking to a man who fixed an election. You don't get to run if you fixed an election. You're talking to a man who fixed an election. Are we really being serious here, Howard Stern?
When they were storming the Capitol.
And a police officer died.
Yeah, and he would say nothing. He was sitting in that office off that.
And a police officer died. You hear that? Do you hear? You hear? Because they know that Howard Stern has all these people. I'm shocked that Howard Stern hasn't lost a lot of his voter base. I'm shocked that Howard Stern hasn't lost a lot of his voter base. I mean, a lot of his fan base. I feel like by now he's just talking to like 10 people.
Capitol.
And a police officer died.
And a police officer. So they're talking about Officer Sicknick, who didn't die at the Capitol. He didn't die as a result of anything that happened at the Capitol. He had a stroke or a heart attack or something a few days later. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt died allegedly. We'll say allegedly because that Woo's News video is pretty funny. But yeah, Ashley Babbitt died. Sicknick didn't die as a result of anything that happened at January 6th.
He was sitting in that office off that dining area off the Oval Office for 3 hours and said nothing. I was supposed to make a speech on the economy that day. Instead, I made a speech I was in Delaware on nothing. I was supposed to make a speech on the economy.
You don't get to run if you're going to fix an election.
On January 6th, when they were storming the Capitol.
And a police officer died.
Yeah, and he would say nothing. He was sitting in that office off that dining area off the Oval Office for 3 hours and said nothing. I was supposed to make a speech on the economy that day.
So he's sitting there for 3 hours and said nothing. Now, the thing about it is, right, I've debunked that fact when they did the whole Cassidy Hutchinson smoking gun thing with the January 6th committee, which just so happened when these court cases started, and Donnie T got discovery, they torched all of their evidence. They torched all of their quote unquote evidence and bombshell witness testimony. Anybody find that interesting? But Donnie T put out two different was it two different ones? No, he put out one. He put out one while he was outside. See, he's lying. He's talking about he was sitting in the cafeteria for 3. No, he wasn't. What happened was that YouTube and all the other social media platforms, they didn't allow it to be put up on their streams. Well, at first they did, but then they took them down immediately. I played them and I got my stream suspended. I got my stream taken down and my channel suspended for playing his public service announcement telling people to go home and stop acting like fools, essentially is what he was saying. Paraphrasing here. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and you name a social media platform, they all conservatively all at one time made a concerted effort to take down that video, and nobody's seen it. And wouldn't no mainstream media outlet play it either. How about that? Ashley Babbitt did not either. Side Warrior recorded by Jaden at who is Antifa, son of Sayat Wadiat, whatever that is. We watched that Woo's News video. That video was wild. I ain't gonna say she ain't died, but he did make a what's the word? A very compelling argument for her not dying. But I'm not gonna say she didn't. He didn't say anything, maybe because he was banned from everything. He said something. He said it. I watched it happen, and then it was gone in the blink of an eye. I saw it when it was first put up, and then it was gone. Everybody took it down. So Secret Service will let him sit in the cafeteria during a live insurrection. Seems like Joe Biden just called out our government security.
Instead, I made a speech from I was in Delaware on that issue because I was elected president, but I wasn't sworn in yet. It was derelict. It was almost criminal. He did nothing. He just sat there and watched what was happening.
Again, another lie. Another lie that can be easily debunked. I did see that. I was going to get to that. I did hear about that. That's crazy. I'm trying to figure out what the heck going on with that. Hey Daisy, if you can send me something on it, send me something on it. I seen it come through my my Citizens app earlier today, but I didn't really get a chance to look into it. That's interesting. That's crazy to me. She got a condo at Langley.
Not a single, and now he wants to he calls them patriots and victims, and and says he's going to pardon them all if he's reelected.
How do some of the guys that you served in the Senate with, I'm talking about Republicans, how are they going along with this?
Well, I don't think, look, this is not your father's Republican Party.
No, it isn't.
This is, I have a lot of Republicans, including the old segregationists, who at least...
Joe, you were a segregationist, but I digress.
You could talk to, at least on matters relating to... They were totally wrong on civil rights, but the fact is that they understood there's a need for a consensus to run this country. And I gave my word I'd never say the names, and I never will. In the last 3 years, I've had 7 sitting Republican senators. Well, 2 are gone now. 7 sitting Republican senators call me to tell me, Joe, I agree with you, but I just can't do it. He'll get me.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you get these calls in secret where guys go, listen, I can't say it publicly?
Yo, Howard Stern has turned into an old yenta. He turned into an old yenta. Y'all gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. This is hard to watch. It's all cat vax.
But I'm for you and I'm going to vote for you. I'm a Republican, but screw it. I can't vote for this guy because he's talking about ending the democracy.
Well, they're not saying they're going to vote for me. They're saying I agree with you.
And do you say to them, you coward? Why don't you say something publicly?
You know what the real coward is Howard Stern. Howard Stern's a real coward. He's doing this for money and he's doing this for his influence. That's what he's doing this for. He's doing it so he don't get kicked off America's Got Talent. This is ridiculous. Howard Stern became the coward. Yep.
Where's Jeb Bush? Where's George Bush? Where are these guys? Why don't they say, hey, I'm interested in saving the democracy?
So now he championing George Bush. You back, Jay?
The light went out. Let me get this light on real quick. Hold on.
I thought you was having a moment of silence for Howard Stern's career.
Where's Stern, man? This dude's a clown.
Yo,
I'll be right back.
All right, he's crazy, yo. There's something wrong with this man, yo.
democracy for our grandchildren.
Well, I don't.
Now he championing George Bush. Y'all gotta be kidding me! Like we can't go back in the Howard Stern archives to 9/11, or back to all the stuff and who he blamed and what he said.
Where's our old friends, the neocons and the warmongers? I mean, those were the good people.
That's
I mean,
exactly what he said.
Wonderful.
That's exactly what he said.
War. I was so happy to see 1 million people killed over there. That was a beautiful thing. We need George Bush back. George Bush Jr., what a wonderful human being he was. I mean, Dick Cheney, Colin Powell, weapons of mass destruction. The weapons of mass destruction that never existed. We need that. That was America. That was the good times.
It's ridiculous.
Get the heck out of here, Howard Stern. What the heck are you talking about? This dude is
in Wikipedia says on
piece of
January
garbage.
6th, the Capitol building was attacked by a mob of supporters of then U.S. Oh my gosh, it was attacked. It was attacked by paid supporters of Nancy Pelosi.
Who opened the doors? Who opened the unopenable doors? Who opened those doors? That the doors could never be breached. So.
What do you think's going to happen? I can't imagine you're going to lose, but...
Well, look, he's promised to be...
I can't imagine you're going to lose.
He doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath.
Can you imagine?
Things like that. Here's what bothers me most. We have a fundamentally different value set. For example, when he was in Paris, he wouldn't go to that gravesite. And said they're losers. These men and women who were
never
killed
said
in the
that.
battle.
He never said that.
He never said that. That's
he
an
never
absolute
said
lie.
that. It's 100% lie. And Secret Service wouldn't allow him to go.
Right.
Because of the weather. They couldn't allow him to fly there. And if they would have took the freeway or whatever it is in Paris, they would have held up traffic for hours. And that's something they didn't want to do. That's why he didn't go to that grave site in Paris. He never called them losers. He never said any of that. This is another lie by the left. But the thing about it is, if you go to play the stuff, if I go to play it in context, guess what happens? My channel gets taken down. Just like when I covered the Ashley Babbitt, the what's her name again? I forgot her name again. I forgot her name. Anyway. Just like I covered the one January 16th. I forgot. I just said her name, and I can't remember what it is now.
You weren't talking about Ashley Babbitt?
No, it wasn't that. I forgot her name. I'll show it to y'all in a second. But yeah. Oh, Cassidy Hutchinson. And I debunked it, and I showed stuff in context, and guess whose video got taken down? This guy. When I called out the January 6th committee. Now, all of a sudden, all of their documents and all of their testimonies and stuff like that are no longer... available because they deleted it. It's craziness.
Defending America, losers, and I'm glad I wasn't there because I think I would have. My son's in one of those graves. In one of the graves back here, not there. And the idea that they're losers and suckers.
And McCain's a loser. He said McCain's a loser.
Well, McCain's a loser.
Can you imagine?
McCain's a piece of garbage.
Was a piece of garbage, war hawk.
Just like you guys are. The left went from hippies and no war to suddenly being the propagators of warmongering. What kind of garbage is this? Doesn't anybody remember the no nukes marches that these bozos used to do? Howard Stern and his support of hippies back in the day. And now look at them. They're like, oh, let's return to the good times, the Iraq War. Oh, both of those were wonderful times. What the heck are they talking about? They would literally be champion Vietnam right this second if that was their talking point.
Yes, they would.
It's come full circle.
Full circle, Jay. You ain't lying about that. And this is crazy. And they're espousing this propaganda, and it's allowed to go on. It's allowed to go on. There's no fact check. YouTube ain't take this down for misinformation.
The whole thing is just one lie after another. And I mean, all right, let's knock it out. This thing is just so trash.
Yeah, let's knock it out.
When John McCain got out of prison and was released, he came work for me. He was a Senate liaison officer. We traveled over 100,000 miles together. And he was like an assistant because he worked for he was...
It's a fabulous man. I got to meet him before he died.
No, he was a straight-up guy, man. And tough as hell. And
the guy that's yelling, bomb, 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 Moran, right? That's the same guy they talking about, Jay? Same guy?
But I find I can't fathom a president of the United States of America saying that the folks who died defending this country were suckers and losers.
Which he never said.
And he never said that.
Where's the context on that? Why doesn't it say context? President Trump never said any of this garbage.
He never said any of that, but they won't fact check it because it's Howard Stern.
Right, because it goes against the narratives they want to keep.
Exactly.
Absolute trash. Shame on Howard Stern over here reminiscing about the war years and saying that those was the good times for America.
Right.
Shame on
George
you.
Bush?
Millions of people died. Millions of people died, and you're wanting warmongers in office.
Right. Right.
The indefinite wars. This is just absolute madness. What they're talking about.
What's this? So hold on. So the feds went on parade, Jay, as we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I knew that was going to be something. Uh-oh. Hold on. We're going to go to that in a second. What is this? I'm going to go back to that in a second. Where's the videos? Here we go. Here's their, whatever we call this. What's this called, Jay? Here's their advertisement. So feds went on parade in West Virginia.
So we are here, Patriot Front is here in Charleston, West Virginia. We have marched through downtown and we are currently marching on our way to the state capital of West Virginia.
100% he's a fed. 100% he's a fed.
We've had a lot of positive receptions. We've had a lot of there's
a lot of square-jawed men in that in that procession, Jay.
Distant interest from the police, if you see them over there. And we have had a lot of flyers handed out to people. We're going to give a great speech at the Capitol. Stay tuned for more updates.
Look at this. This is ridiculous. They just marching in West Virginia, just all willy-nilly. Just all willy-nilly, Jay. The feds on parade. Screen Actors Guild in full effect. SAG-AFTRA, whatever that is called.
They didn't have to go very far from Langley.
They didn't have to go very far from Langley. Just a good 40-minute drive, if that.
Yeah, just show up.
Then you have this here.
We know it's like we said, it's like 2 or 3 of them is Bobby and Ricky that don't know any better, and the rest of them are all intel ops, putting together the writing when they get home, writing their little case and writing down all their notes to hand over.
Hey, look at this, and then you got the police right here, letting them in to the back of their U-Haul truck.
Blessed be our new founding fathers.
We're gonna go ahead and mute that. But look at this, Jay.
Do they have police escorts and all this kind of stuff for any other group?
No, they don't have no police escorts for any other group. Look at this photo op. Look at this photo op right here. The feds done arrested the feds. Are we serious?
For what?
For what? What is this?
I think we saw this video before.
Is this an old video?
So Patriot Front got pulled over. They were all piled in.
This is old. I know that much. This one they got beat up. I remember that. That's when when they came in contact with the Proud Boys. They ain't want no smoke. They ain't want no smoke with the Proud Boys. They ain't want no smoke with the Proud Boys. I guess they rebranded Patriot Front. Like now this kid right here, FBI blocked the conviction of Patriot Front's frontman Thomas Ryan. What is that about? Patriot Front. When the police arrested 31 Patriot Front members, almost every single one was convicted, except for the group's founder, Thomas Ryan Russo. The FBI refused to cooperate with prosecutors, and the judge dismissed the case against him. Wow.
Well, how about that?
Because him and Enrique Ontario, they roommates.
Right. It's really just like, it's just a few of them in there that don't know that they're in on a scam.
In on a scam.
That's about it. The rest of them are all just taking notes on each other.
Like, I'm not sure when this was, but this was a while ago. So this is the so-called Not Effing Around Coalition, comprised of militant black activists and thugs. Notice there is no condemnation from gun control proponents. No system cops stopping and arresting them like they do the Patriot Front marchers. Does white privilege exist? Here we go. I don't even know what that means. I think they're defunct. I don't even think they're even around anymore, right? Because their leader went down, didn't he?
Yeah, we just talked about that. We need to look that back up and see what happened to that man. But because
I remember he shot his gun went off, and he
didn't have no gun going off or shots going off.
Somebody's gun went off in one of their crowds. I remember it. Like 3 people got killed.
They just arrested him on site. Just on. That's it. They just looked at him and they said, "Man, we don't have any agents to infiltrate your group, so it's time to arrest you." That's all they did, and held him on federal charges.
I'm telling you, somebody in their group. The last time I heard about them, somebody in their group gun went off.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna go look up what's the name of their group?
Not Effing Around Coalition.
Spell it. No, play. Let me see. John Fitzgerald, also known as Grandmaster J, claims leadership of the group. Whatever happened to him? Is he in jail still?
Yeah, here go right here. Raw. NFAC black militia member gun discharges, injures 3. That was the last time I heard of him. Is when that happened. Once that happened, it was I didn't hear from him no more. That was like 2020. Look. That's when everybody scattered when his gun went off, and he injured 3 people.
When was this?
1, 2. This was in 2020.
But when did they take down Jam Master J?
July 20. Right after that, because he did a video. He did a video trying to explain it. It was on the rise until that happened. It might have been how they infiltrated it. Once somebody infiltrated and shot somebody and got them out of there. Man, it seemed like irresponsible gun owners. But yeah, the Patriot Front, this is what they want you to see, y'all. They want y'all to be afraid, be very afraid. They want to push this propaganda that these actors right here from Langley's IT department are so dangerous to our quote unquote democracy that they're trying to espouse their racist rhetoric around. Okay, so and what better place to do it in West Virginia, who has the worst stigma of racism?
So they did arrest the leader of the Not Messing Around Coalition, right? The NFAC. Mm-hmm. And that was the John Johnson, aka Grandmaster J, and they gave him 7 years.
He said that's an old video from Gay Pride, Idaho. Oh my gosh.
But they gave him that 7 years, but he didn't actually do anything.
No, he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything, and they just arrested him and gave him 7 years because they wanted to shut that organization down because they didn't have any, they don't have a lot of black folks in khakis to go and infiltrate it. There's all their Langley officers right there.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second. I'll be right back, Joe.
All right, go ahead. But I didn't know anything about that shooting part. It is the same guy, isn't it? The one with that little 85% of the feds, definitely. The Howard Stern movie poster took one Oh yeah, and then how it's the predictive programming. All the cameras perfectly lined up. Definitely. Our protocol said we stay kicking tails. Wasn't Joe friends with Robert Byrd? Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was saying his little spiel about against the GOP during the civil rights era. It was the GOP that pushed through the civil rights thing, and in hindsight, all those different programs were not to the betterment of anybody, really, when you look at it. Now, when you had the 70s, the crime wave, and the single moms, the lack of, then they started to defund the community centers, and just one thing after another spiraled out of control. But when you go back to the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you can see the employment rates through the roof, and the nuclear family still intact. But then you had the civil rights era, and all the stuff that they started pushing through with it, everything started falling apart. Things got worse, not better. And a lot of what they did with the feminist movement and those agendas that came through, a lot of that was all Project Mockingbird. If you guys want to go and look up Project Mockingbird, but I'm sure most of you know what that. Oh my gosh, we'll be looking at more of this nonsense again.
Remember on Saturday I said, remember the video where they were like, they did their little public service announcement, and then they pretended like the video was off, and he said like, oh, white power, oh. This is the video. Look. This is so phony. This is, oh man.
Life, liberty, victory.
Life, liberty, victory.
Check it out. Damn, son, that might be a cut. That's a good take right there. Sieg fucking high. Let's fucking go. I can say that now that it's over.
Beers.
I want to have my finger up my...
Remember that nonsense? Like, people really thought that it was, they really forgot that the can't. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is the group that they're trying to make people afraid of. They're trying to march them in the streets to get people to be afraid of them. I'm telling you, the blood tribe next. Blood tribe, they're gonna be coming down somebody's freeway or alley near you, or wherever the heck they're doing. Like I said, Montoya is the Screen Actors Guild.
These cats are not scary in the least bit.
They might be at the Met Gala.
They're corny. They're real cornballs.
They're real cornballs.
They look like they haven't even picked up a weight in their life. I don't know.
Like they're trying to rebrand themselves with them freaking Civil War outfits they was marching down the street in.
They've been on their desk jobs over there at Langley so long, eating the box of donuts every day that Marcy brings in. They're real soft.
Let's see something. Oh, what's going on here? This was 1 minute ago. How long is this? So did you hear about 3 U.S. Marshals killed, 4 Charlotte police injured in deadly shooting in Charlotte? Let's go to this real quick.
Today's an absolute tragic.
This is like breaking news and it's developing. So let's see.
5 hours ago. I didn't know nothing about it.
This was updated 1 minute ago, but yeah, so let's see.
Day for the city of Charlotte and for the profession of law enforcement. Today we lost some heroes that are out to just simply trying to keep our community safe. I'm going to try to go through a series of events of how this all occurred and played out, and then tell you a little bit more about the injuries and the things that we had to endure today as a profession and as a city. So about 1:30 p.m. this afternoon, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force went to the 5000 block of Galway Avenue in an attempt to serve a warrant on an individual for possession of firearm by a convicted felon. When they approached that individual, they were met with gunfire. Officers returned gunfire and struck the victim, who was later pronounced deceased in the front yard of the residence. As officers approached that individual, they then received additional gunfire from inside of the residence. So after a long standoff, we were able to clear this residence. and confirmed that there were 2 additional people inside. They were both brought to the police station as persons of interest, and we're trying to determine now what exactly occurred inside of the residence. Tragically, there were 3 members of the U.S. Marshals Task Force who were pronounced deceased, and there were 4 CMPD officers shot, 1 being in critical condition who is now in the hospital fighting for his life. A total of 8 law enforcement officers were shot by the suspects in this house. So we are very early in the investigation. CMPD will lead this investigation. We still have a lot to uncover, a lot of questions that are not answered right now. So please respect the fact that I won't be able to answer some of the questions that you're going to have. At the same time, we are going to diligently work on this to ensure that we bring a respect to these officers and these law enforcement officials that lost their lives today. And this is a good example of what we try to tell people every single day, that when we put on this uniform, that we don't have any guarantees that we'll return home. But yet we have a lot of great men and women across this entire country that do it every single day to make sure that you're safe in your communities. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Vi-Lyles, if she'll want to say a few words.
That's interesting. That's crazy. Sad. 8 officers, man. 3 of them lost their lives. 1's in critical condition. Serving a warrant. Ironically, the warrant was for a convicted felon with an illegal firearm, and he gets fired upon. See, my question is, Jonah says it sounds like the operation I predicted for April 19th. Got to justify extreme risk, $2 billion budget. My question is when they go in there, right? Don't sound like the ATF was involved, but it sounds like the ATF might be getting involved based off of what I'm thinking. You know, first off, prayers out to those officers and their families. It's a hard profession, man. That's a hard profession. They didn't think they would, you know, it's always a risk every time they go to work, but, you know, it's still, I'm sure it's still like, you know, it's hard to deal with. But, I'm interested to know when they get up in there. I want to know what type of firearms they were, Jay. I want to know what type of firearms they were. You know, no knock the airport manager. Bit not this dude. I mean, I don't know.
And welcome back here to Live Now.
What's this? Just the officers. See if they got anything on the shooter. What kind of...
Gunfire from inside the home. A 3-hour standoff ensued.
Stepped outside my door, police were running by.
We'll be traveling to Wilmington, North Carolina on Thursday. No doubt he'll be meeting, most likely, and speaking with some of the law enforcement officers who were involved in this horrible, tragic incident today. Let's get you up to speed on this story.
Tragedy unfolding in North Carolina on Monday after 3 law enforcement officers were shot and killed while serving a warrant at a home in Charlotte. Investigators say the officers were part of a U.S. Marshals task force. They were first shot at as they approached the property. Police returned fire, shooting and killing a man in the front yard. The same one officers were there for, wanted for felony firearm possession.
We have confirmed that the individual that was set up, that we were serving the warrant on, was the individual who fired the initial shots.
Then, more gunfire from inside the home. A 3-hour standoff ensued.
Stepped outside my door, police were running by, and then ambulance started coming in, and they were just going everywhere.
4 Charlotte Mecklenburg officers who responded were also shot while trying to rescue their wounded comrades. 1 currently hospitalized in critical condition. Another member of the task force also wounded during the shootout.
We heard about over 100 gunshots. It sounded like World War III.
Ultimately, a SWAT team arrived on scene, using an armored vehicle to crash into the home. Inside, a woman and a 17-year-old male were taken into custody. Police say a high-powered rifle was found inside that home. Law enforcement tonight grieving the lives that were lost.
Today's an absolute tragic day for the city of Charlotte and for the profession of law enforcement.
So, high-powered rifle, we know what they're going to call that, right, Jay? They're going to say the AR-15. Question is, what's the ethnicity of this family? I think we know it's going to be, probably, I don't even know if it's going to be a black family. It might be, excuse me. It might be, I don't know. If it's a black family, I guarantee they're quote unquote, they'll say they're ghost guns. Or because the ATF just got their tail handed to them on pistol braces and short barrel rifles in the Supreme Court, right? They're going to say, they're going to show an AR pistol. They're going to show an AR pistol with a pistol brace on the back of it. It's my guess. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. But you know, I digress. But we'll know more. We'll know more because this is going to be a big story. This is going to be a very big story. Unless it don't fit none of the narratives, then it'll get swept under the rug.
Today's an absolute.
But they're going to use it. They'll definitely use it. Police officers can't see. We got to get those guns out of the hands of the. We got to get those guns out of the hands of these criminals. We got to get these AR-15s off the street. We got to get these pistol braces off the street. Law enforcement can't do their job if they, you know, and you know how I go. You know the rhetoric, Jay.
Yeah.
Like I said, and I stand by what I said. If the police got it, I want it to.
Yeah, these another jacked up situation. Yeah.
Right. If the police got it, I want it too. Period, full stop. If the military got it, I want it too. If Patriot Front got it, I want it too. I'm just saying, y'all. Anyway, like I said, prayers going out to those police officers and their families, man. Hope they find peace. Anyway, sorry to end on that note, guys, but
that's the downer we're leaving on.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna live on no downer. Let's see. We're gonna leave on a downer, and no, we're not gonna leave on a downer.
Well, I did have something I wanted to share with you before we roll out.
What's that?
Well, let me text you it and you see if it's appropriate. Well, I don't think it's not inappropriate. It's just like necessarily. It's a little rap song called Peekaboo.
Letitia James.
It's a parody. Letitia James drops rap song Peekaboo.
All right, let's see what happens. Why not? Actually, before we do that, hold on. There was one thing I wanted to get your opinion on, Jay.
Or analysis.
Yeah. Let me see. Where is it? Don't tell me I don't know where it is. Come on. So there's this. I want you to check it out. Hold on.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see.
Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Come on.
Man, funny. Sounds like Ruby Ridge, he said. Oh, man.
Sounds like Ruby Ridge.
Them coming to the house saying, where's the weaponry?
I think this is it. Yeah, this is it right here. What you think about this, Jay?
Well, I don't know. I can't see it yet.
About to put it up there now. Boom, here we go. Ready?
Oh no, what am I about to see?
Cover up the ruins.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Let's refresh.
They put the lake in that spot to cover up the ruins.
So what he's saying is all the lakes around the world they're put there on purpose to cover up the ruins.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
Interesting.
4D chess right there.
Yeah. So
let him keep playing.
Oh, you're saying all lakes are man-made?
You have 53,000. So if you're going to go with how many are in America, that's a lot, right? So 53,000, and the average lake sits at about, the average. Well, if we're going to go with dams and everything, they sit at about 40%. So if they're technically low, right? That's what they try to tell you. It's always low. It's never actually full. So they're always going to pull the whole. Well, we're running water because there's not a lot of water in those dams. But it's interesting because even the Hoover Dam and that whole thing that was built, that's all part of the Phoenix and Arizona right here in this state. And that's got a lot of ancient lineage over there too as well. And it's interesting because that was right around the time with the Phoenix fire, which was 1916 on September 23rd. So that's kind of right around that time when all those things were happening. But this water deceiving is basically you have these controllers who hold the water up here, and then they say down here, you're running water. When in reality, there's water coming out of the earth. So, for example, California had an earthquake. This was 3 years ago. Northern California had an earthquake. And all of a sudden, one of the rivers just started pouring water. And the people were like, what the heck is going on? There's water coming out of the river. The river hasn't had water ever, right? So people were completely baffled that now water is coming back. Then on top of that...
Oh, shoot. I'm not even showing y'all the guy. My bad. But y'all hear it anyway, so...
You had back in the 1950s when the lakes were actually low, they used primary water, which is the water coming up from inside the earth, to refill Lake Elsinore when it got low in the 1950s. So the people who are up here holding the water know of primary water because they use it to their advantage. And someone, if we're going to take it to another level, was saying that's how they did floods. They understood how to get that primary water out of the earth, and then they could flood an area. So it's interesting with the whole primary water because we're never taught about it. We're always taught about these clouds, which who knows what they are, but these clouds with this rainwater cycle. And if we stop getting rain, all of a sudden we're going to run out of water.
Okay.
But if you come to Arizona and you see how green it is over here, these trees are getting water from somewhere else. They're not getting water from the sky. They're getting water from deep inside the earth. What do
you think about that, Jay?
Oh, well, it's partly correct and partly I mean, from my viewpoint, from what I understood, it's partly correct and partly all over the place. The Earth, I'm going to pronounce this correctly, abiogenic. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that before?
Vaguely.
It's like cyclical. Abiogenic origin of the Earth is where all of our stuff all the stuff is just going to eventually just come back up working if you leave it alone. The same thing like with crude oil and with gas and all that stuff, petroleum oil. If you leave those wells alone, it's eventually just going to fill right back up. If you stopped drilling and you said, I'm going to go away from this well over here, I'm going to leave it the way it is, it's eventually going to fill up from deep deep sea deposits and stuff like that, formations of formations that come in cycles, just like our weather does, just like we have the seasons. So in part, it's a little bit to that. And I think that the Russian scientists over the years said that that's exactly how things work. When they declassified a lot of the KGB's documents, they stated that the oil reserves and the water reserves are not limited. They'll just keep returning.
See, so so I think he got a point, right? You know what I mean? I think they got a point, right? So first of all, I did see the Billy Carlson on the Flagrant podcast. I like that. That was a great interview. But I think that so like I look at geysers. I'm like, where did water for geysers come from? Right? It's got to be coming from the inner earth, right? So I don't think this guy's all the way off of that thing. I think that a lot of these lakes and stuff, I think water probably does come from within. You know what I mean? It might not always just come from the sky. it may be water inside of the earth that just it keeps pouring up. Like even in the Bible, it kind of it states something about water, something exploding from inside or something like that. So like I look at geysers and I'm like, okay, well, we got to explain where the water comes from for the geysers, and it's hot. Like geysers, when they explode, that water is scalding hot, right? It'll cook you, right? And then you got hot springs. So like some of these hot springs, I mean, that water has to be coming from inside the earth somewhere. So I think he's got a huge. I think he got a point. And I have been getting a lot of Anunnaki programs too, especially on like Prime. It's really interesting. But I think he has a point there, Jay. I really do think he has a point there.
Yeah, so like I say, it's not completely off base. It's I think for the most part partially on point. It's not like from the way I look at it, it's like it's not always that everything is just one way. There's sometimes multiple ways to it. And so the petroleum industry adopted the term fossil fuels. Yeah, the fossil fuels that we're told they come from dinosaurs, right? But in reality, the sea life, there's billions and billions of fish out there, and the more that they sink into they die, they sink into the thing, and they create the oils, and then you get more and more oils. It's like a different version of fish oil, but we have gas and stuff like that, crude oil and stuff like that. But it really is from all the plants and the sludge and the fish and stuff like that. It's not really from brontosauruses and stuff.
Right. No, I get that. We had to look at this one a little late. It's kind of late now. We had to look at this another time. I'm about to. Where is it at? I'm interested in it. I want to watch it.
Mark it.
It's already in my what's the name? I'll watch it as soon as we get off because I'm interested in that. We're gonna go to the Letitia James video. We're gonna end it here, guys. You got anything else, Jay, before we get out of here?
Nah.
All right, guys, we're gonna end it with this Letitia James parody, guys. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. If you do, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon to let you know when we got new content coming out. Please share this stream, let people know we live. You catching the replay, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing. I can use that constructive criticism. A Rumble, hit the thumbs up. We only got 9 thumbs up. We got 30 people watching. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Anyway, until next time, it's Cannon Hotep saying, be safe, stay strapped, don't miss. And guys, worry about today, because tomorrow has enough problems of its own. I think I said it right. I might have just messed that up just now. I'm saying it. Don't worry about tomorrow, guys. Worry about today, for tomorrow has enough problems of its own. Man. Anyway, until next time, guys, we holler at you.
Your girl, Peekaboo James. I'm lurking in the rat-infested streets of New York City, and I want to tell you, watch out. I'm coming for you. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. I love to eat mayo with buckets of French fries. I know that you can tell, just look at these thighs. Roll with Fat Alvin, who loves to brag. He's shaped like a potato and his man boobs sag. I'm coming for your business, producers of meat, as I pretend to be vegan and self-defeat. And I blame it on beef and gas emissions, while I cheek squeak with this pure precision. If you're pale, go to jail. Dark or brown, hell no. I think that I am perfect, not a single flaw. I don't care about fair or the rule of law. I make up sham cases as I'm grasping that straw. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. Biden stands no chance, so I help him cheat. Cause I think one day I'm gonna have his seat. Illegal immigrants, I'm gonna wash your feet, while the homeless veterans are living on the street. Me and Angle Run, don't care about no one. I wanna give a shout out to Merchant Juan and his daughter Lauren of Authentic Campaigns, who raised 93 million. Girl, that's insane. Nothing to see here, no conflict of interest. Dems love double speak with number one, the best. I wanna steal everything that Trump invests. The real fraud is me, let's put this case to rest. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. I pretend to be neutral, but really act blue. It's Attorney General Letitia James. The whole justice system's going up in flames. Too male, too pale, and too stale. This administration, too male, too pale, and too stale. This administration Shout out to my sugar daddy, George Soros. Yeah, you know what you did. FDNY, better watch your back, cause I'm hunting you down. Oh, and Trump, you owe me 450 million bucks. Pay up.
Relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax.